Hello ladies and gentlemen, the Fandom Gamer here and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the Outer Worlds. The past couple of days I spent a lot of time preparing for this, coming up with a good build and deciding what paths I'll go down. So that's why I haven't uploaded a video in a while. So we're going to be starting, and I would like to say that this game is great, okay, and I would totally suggest you get it, because it's a lot like Fallout and Skyrim, which are games I really enjoy playing, and it was made by Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas, like the best Fallout game, but they also had some people from the original Fallout come back to work on it, so of course it has like the OG Fallout crew on it, so it's great, and they've done things that I think were a good idea and they should totally have done with Fallout, such as the speech skill being overpowered. They split it into 3 different categories, so that's great, and basically you'll see when we do it. So I've come up with a build and everything, so let's get into it. New game, and we're playing on normal. Subtitles are on, text, it's about the right size, should be able to read it hopefully. And let's get into it. The loading screens are a bit long, so I will cut them out for you.
Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
Yeah, this game's also got a bit of comedy in it. Yeah, holy smokes. That's a lot of people.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
And now we can get into the character build. So like I said, this is a lot like Fallout, however they have changed several mechanics. So instead of the special, they have these attributes here, which are split into pretty good categories, and all of these affect various different skills, and some skills are affected by multiple different attributes. So if you have one attribute lower, that lowers the skill, but you have another one that puts it up again, and they sort of balance each other out. It's not just one skill per, like one skill is affected by one attribute, like Fallout. How, you know, speech and barter were charisma, but now you've got things like, you've got inspiration, intimidation, and lie. Inspiration is sort of like, you know, your companions and stuff, inspiring them to be better, but then you also have persuade as well. So, you know, you can persuade people to do things, you can lie to people about things, and then you can intimidate them. And obviously intimidate is strength, because, you know, if you're strong then you're going to intimidate someone. But then you've got things like persuade, which is like intelligence. If you're smart, then you know about like the right thing you can say to get someone on your side. And then like you've got persuade, lie, and intimidate are all part of charm. And then of course all these different skills. You've got long guns, heavy guns, and handguns. Then you've got dodge, block, lockpick, hack, engineering, sneak, so many different skills, which obviously means that getting them up would be harder, but they've come up with a thing for that, so I'll show you when we get to the skills menu. So for this, I always like to put strength at 1, just to increase your carry weight, and a bit of melee damage doesn't hurt either. Your charm, I would definitely put up at least 1, because it gives you more positive reputation with a faction, and less negative reputation with a faction. So if you do something to annoy them, then they won't be as annoyed as they usually would be, and if you do something good, it'll give you even more reputation with them than it probably should do. Temperament, you can leave as is, and maybe even lower it, but I would just leave it, because, you know, the health regeneration is always useful. Perception is always a good one, because it affects several good skills, but also gives you bonus damage to weak spots, which is an important thing. It's basically VATS, so definitely put that up. Dexterity, it affects reload speed and attack speed, which I think is always good, so definitely put that up 1. Like I said, you can either lower temperament or leave it as is, so I just leave it as it is. Intelligence you should also definitely put up. So as you can see, I've got everything apart from temperament that's been hired. You can, I suppose, lower strength and just leave it as it is there, because your companions boost your carry weight, which I think is a good thing, because obviously if you've got people with you, they can carry stuff for you, but it stays in your inventory basically, so you can access it that way. It makes it easier, so that makes sense. So I do say you should boost it, but I guess just leave it there. You should either put it into intelligence, dexterity, or charm. For the sake of what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to put it into intelligence, because that affects a lot of skills and also gives you better critical damage, which is always useful. And as you can see, the attributes are split into body, mind, and personality. Now, this is because if you drink something that improves your mind attributes, then anything that comes under here is affected. So your intelligence, perception, and like those skills. And then obviously it's the same for body and personality. Now, onto the skills. Like I said, there are so many different ones that boosting them would take forever. Well, what they've done instead is they've put them into categories like this. So like it says here, you just put it into either like melee range or whatever. You put them into like the general category that they are in, and it boosts all of them, which is obviously great. Once you reach 50, however, then you boost them individually, because 50 is like halfway, because 100 sort of the max. Like when you get to master, you can boost them over 100, but 100 is basically like the baseline. That's what most skill checks will be up to and what you'll need to use. And they make you most proficient. Anything over that is unnecessary, but cool. So here you can obviously go for so many different builds. Melee build, you can go also do defensive, which is good if you're doing a melee build, because you can dodge more and you will be able to block more attacks. Then you've got obviously dialogue and tech, and even leadership, which are good for like if you're doing a persuasive build, because you're able to talk more people into things and lie about things to convince them of coming over to your side. And tech, you can pass a lot of tech skills by saying that's not right or stuff like that if you have the good knowledge. So you can of course just talk your way out of a conversation by having superior knowledge about that conversation and about the topic. Then of course you've got your ranged weapons, and your melee weapons. The thing is with these is each point gives you a little extra. So you can see my long guns is at 20, so I get a 57.6% long gun crit chance, and a minus 9.6% long gun sway. Obviously once you reach 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100 you get a certain bonus, as you can see there, but also with each point you're putting into it, it makes things go higher or lowers things like sway. So that's obviously useful. Dialogue obviously is useful for just about any conversation, and stealth. So sneak means people are less likely to detect you, and you can also get sneak attack damage, like Fallout for example. If someone doesn't see you, you'll do extra damage. And then hack and lockpick, I should say, are definitely really useful. You can get into so many chests and go through terminals and just skip so much stuff, so definitely put one into sneak.
Subtle and discreet.
You get 2 points to put it in here straight away. And then tech, that's really useful. Damage of different elements, heal amount, stuff like that, and engineering's obviously good for repairing things like your weapons, and because that is a mechanic in this game, you can repair things, put bonuses on it, just kind of like Fallout, and also break it down for parts, so it's great. Leadership is sort of meh. You should definitely get inspiration to 20, that's definitely important. And maybe determination to 20 as well, but I have found that it's not that important after those, because your companions have special attacks you can only use once you get to 20 in inspiration, and your inhaler will also heal your companions, and they get more health with your determination. So get those two to 20, but other than that, I probably wouldn't bother. And so the second point, we can either put into ranged or dialogue or tech, as defense and melee aren't necessary. So for the purpose of the build I'm going for, I'm going to put it into ranged, because it gives you 10 to each one, so that's obviously getting them up higher, and obviously whenever I level up I can just use my points to quickly boost any of the ones I need to. So let's get on to aptitude. This one is strange, certainly, and I think they could have done this a little better, but you know, it's obviously nice. Because you choose basically what you're good at and what you probably would have done once you would reach the colony. So you're basically choosing a background for your character. However, they're limited and kind of annoying in some specs, because some of these are completely useless, like plasma damage received -3. Well, that's not a big deal, it's not that important. And then +1 to science, that is literally nothing. It's like one point from a level up, so it hardly makes any difference, honestly. So just pick whatever, because it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. I'll just go for the cashier subgrade non-supervisory, because it's 1 in persuade, so you might just pick whatever, it's up to you. Things like the drink effect, I just don't think are necessary, honestly, but you pick what you want. Appearance, so this is where we customize our character, and this is obviously great. I'm going to go with female, because in Fallout and Skyrim I tend to, honestly. Might as well, doesn't make any difference, honestly, what you choose. Just obviously the she's and he's, ma'am, mister, those kind of things, so it makes no difference. You can choose different heads that you like. You know, pick what you will, doesn't really matter, again, just how you'd rather have them look. Skin tone, you can have all sorts of different stuff, so they're all different, bright, dark, orange, so I just go for something like this, that's fine. Eye colour, we're going to go for blue, but you've got all sorts of different stuff. You've got really bright blue, dark blue, like a luminous green, stuff like this. Like, look at that, look how bright that is, like, oh my god. So we'll go for this. Then you can change your brow and just all these different things, which I wouldn't touch if I were you, unless you know what you're doing. Just leave them as is, because again, you're not going to see your character's face as much as you may think, so I wouldn't bother. And then onto your hair. You got all sorts of different styles, which are all nice. Personally, a lot of these I don't think look that good, but that's just me. I'm not really a professional when it comes to hairstyle, so don't ask for my opinion, honestly. Like, there are some that I think are really cool, but there are those that I really hate. So I'm gonna go for a sort of bluish colour like this. Again, you've got all sorts of different colours, purple, just all the colours on the spectrum pretty much, which is what I like about this. There's so many different colours and stuff. Like, in most Fallout games you're pretty limited to like 4 or 5 different eye colours, stuff like that, and then eyebrow style, you can have monobrow, just all sorts of different things. Again, doesn't make too much difference, just pick whatever. Facial hair, well, obviously as a woman, you're not going to have like a full beard or anything, or sideburns, so I just go without generally. Then your facial hair colour, obviously I haven't got any, so it doesn't matter. Now, scars, I always like to go for like a nice scratch or something on the side of the face. I wouldn't go for the ones that are like loads of scratches, because it just seems unrealistic. Dirt you can do, but I just don't know why, because then you're a colonist, you've been frozen for many years while you had to have dirt on your face. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. Makeup, you can always do that. You've got all sorts of different ones, like look at this, that is something you would not see in Fallout. It's crazy. Like, it's just amazing, the kind of things to put in. And I like how they put, like, damage to your face under makeup. Like, you know, unless it is makeup, but, you know, there's all sorts of different things you can do. Pick what you will. Sadly, you can only pick one setting. You can't pick a mixture of others. So we're going to go for that. As you can imagine, I'm going for a very blue theme here. And then, obviously, age can make you really old, you know, wrinkled and stuff like that. Or really young. Go for young, I guess. Just doesn't really matter at all what you pick, honestly. You can randomize it and just see what the game picks for you, but I like to make my own. And for the name, Sapphire, hence the blue theme. And that is it. This is a summary. These are the different skills and that, look at that, and then you've got attributes and the aptitude, which doesn't make any difference, honestly. I would never lower these, honestly, either leave them average or higher, because if you put them lower, you get like really negative stats half the time, so just don't do that. It's not like Fallout where you have like a dump stat like charisma, drop it and you can just boost them with your skills, because if you put like dexterity down, it'll take you forever to reload, intelligence down, like just all these different things. Like if you have like charm down, you know, you're going to have to pay more at vendors. You're just not going to be able to convince people of anything. Temperament, your companions will die really easily, they'll not have that much health. If you have strength really far down, you'll have no carry weight, like you can carry nothing. But anyway, let's get into the game.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Yeah, I guess.
Not likely, bootlickers.
Man, that ship took a true turn fast.
Initiate skip jump.
Nice. Doesn't look good. Yep.
Shit.
Well, that's one word for it, Phineas. And look at us, we're waking up, it's like Fallout 4 all over again.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds.
How unfortunate.
This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take.
Give or take.
Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction.
Don't know why we need to know that.
Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes?
Thanks.
Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Again, another comedic area. Phineas just having rubbish technology and not working at all. Down we go. Remember the Hope. The 60th anniversary of the Hope's disappearance. It was more like a cover-up. As you saw in that beginning scene, they were just gonna leave the ship out there.
Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site.
Great.
He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
And into the atmosphere we go. Soft landing. How did we know how to open that?
Ah, you've landed good. Hawthorne should be close by. What
Close, yeah.
His name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it.
Oh, you thought he'd know
no
that
sense in
anyway.
letting his ship go to
Well,
waste.
hand's still attached, great. Like I said,
Hawthorne
soft
won't mind you
landing.
taking his ship. Better
Does
you
not
than
more damage to the
forward, huh?
ground, honestly.
Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame
Let's
about
look at the
whole
graphics, look how
Scorpion
beautiful
thing.
this world is.
Nasty
Another
way to
planet
go.
there, clouds, all sorts. It's beautiful lake. I just love it. And look at like the movement on plants and stuff, look at that. It's great. And obviously the tutorial section of any game. Look at these little creatures, look. I just love the way this game looks. It never ceases to amaze me, honestly. The graphics are beautiful, puts like any Fallout game to shame. Drino. Marauder Thug. I don't think he's a problem. So them creatures, obviously this being like a not real like colony place, there are all sorts of different creatures that don't obviously exist, so they can be a little more creative with their designs. I just think the detail is great.
Easy now. You've been frozen for
And
a
there
while.
was a little taste of the
Bound
VAT
to be
system.
unforeseen side effects.
And just broke my leg. Great. And that's the medical inhaler. Basically, it's like a stim pack from Fallout, that kind of thing, gives you health. I think it's a dude.
Come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, wow, that stinks.
Great saying. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Never ceases to amaze me how stupid that sounds.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help.
Well, should have just left you for dead then, shouldn't I?
We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him.
Genius.
Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right?
I know,
Barely
that like
scraped by
never
with my life.
happens.
Crawled in here and blocked
Although
off
we'll
the
learn
exit
later
with those
that
canisters.
space choice weapons are rubbish, so it's actually a pretty common problem.
Investigating an illegally grounded ship.
No.
All spacecraft must arrive and depart from authorized landing pads. That's board law, that is. Some
You're
homeland
right.
grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters?
I like
by
how
the
some of their
entrance?
sayings are obviously more
Sniffing around in here.
spacey, you know, like
All
hull
out
head.
single
Like,
shot.
you don't say
Not
that,
bad,
do you?
huh?
And obviously we get a little taste of it here. Instead of it just being a speech option, you got persuasion, light, intimidate. You intimidate him and that tell him to give you your weapon or you'll kill him. Well, he'll kill himself, but you're basically threatening him. You can lie and say, oh, I'll hunt down the person who's illegally landed their ship, which sounds stupid. Or you can persuade and say, oh, give me a gun and I'll go and get you help. So I'll go for the persuade.
Yeah, okay.
I try to be a nice
Feels like another
person.
way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in the side.
Hilarious.
Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all.
Yeah, leave yourself
All
defense. That's a
Spacer's
good
choice
idea.
weapons are now 30%
Really are an
less likely
idiot.
to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Yes.
like 30% less likely to malfunction. Well, you say that, but 30% means if it was 100%, now it's 70%, and so on and so forth, that kind of thing. That means that there's still a very likely chance that they'll go malfunction, but luckily, they don't seem to ever malfunction for you, unless you let the condition get really far down, and then I guess maybe they will. I've never let them get that far down. Anyway, shoot the barrels and they explode, so don't stand near them.
Damage my ears!
Sorry, Phineas.
Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in this...
Good thing the static cut out all the swearing. Tactical time dilation. Basically, it's that you can slow down time, so everything moves slower, and you can basically look, trying to show you, oh, it's moving too fast. No, it moves really slow. You got a better chance of hitting it. And I like how if you select over a man, could actually tell you what the objective is exactly. So we get our first encounter with enemies. A Marauder Goon and a Marauder Vandal stood next to 2 explosive barrels. So obviously they want you to shoot them, and you probably should, honestly. Don't try and sneak up behind him and melee him, because I tried that my first try of the game, and the saber, it swings and does an area damage, from there to there. So I caught the barrel and it exploded and killed me. Not great. Oh yeah, and we can go into the menu here. So you've got 4 different weapons you can have equipped. The ammo here. Don't ever need to worry about ammo. Honestly, you can pick plenty of it up, and you can see your outfit. Your armor, so it gives you 3 armor, and it's a light armor type, and it gives you a skill bonus of tech skills plus 5, which basically means that all your tech skills, so medical, science and engineering, get a plus 5 from the hibernation suit, which give you some bonuses, but you will find out that, look, this, you see on the basic skill unlocks, it doesn't go over to the 20, because since it's just being raised by your outfit, you don't actually have it at 20. You don't actually know that. It's just your stuff you're wearing makes you better at it, I guess. So anyway, shoot the barrels. Try and shoot the barrels at least, and kill this guy. Off with his head, and then you can loot, and this is great. Obviously you can hover it, you don't have to enter an inventory or anything. You can press square to take, or hold it and take everything, because if they've got loads of stuff in it, then hold it. They've only got a few items then, and here we got a lockpick. The mag locks, you use these and you hold it. The higher your skill compared to what's required, the quicker it is and the less mag picks it'll take. So you've got 2 here just in case. But basically, if it's 5 and you have 5, it'll take the maximum amount of picks needed, and it'll take 5 seconds. Whereas if you have, I think it's from what I've seen, if you have 20 points more than the requirement, it doesn't take any picks, and it only takes 1 second. I don't know exactly what the boundaries are, because I've got 21 points more than necessary, and it'll only take 1 second, but of course, since it's being the first chest, it's obviously extremely easy, and you'll see that lootable things highlighted in blue, so obviously you can see what's lootable and what's not. You don't have to press on things randomly to see if they work. And of course, we got this new telescoping staff. It deals 51 damage, and it has a knockdown special effect, so it can knock enemies over. It's a 2-handed melee weapon, and our saber only has 36 damage and 73 DPS, but it has a special effect of bleeding, so they can obviously take overtime damage. And it's a 1-handed melee, so I would swap over to the telescoping staff. One thing you will notice, with the thing, you can't take it out of your inventory like that while it's equipped in your hand. You've got to swap to something else, which makes sense, I guess. So we use the staff because it'll knock them out in 1, maybe 2 hits on the head. You can see it's got Spacer's Choice engraved on the top, which is cool, I guess. You just got to basically training dummies, really weak, easy enemies, just so you can get a feel for the combat in the game. They're pretty easy to kill, so no need to worry. You can do this completely quietly, or you can just run in and shoot everyone. So do whatever you will, it's up to you. I like to try and be stealthy, but usually I end up getting spotted by a enemy. So you got the bar there. It's once it gets full, they'll investigate, and a second one will pop up, which is them actually properly seeing you. So there's the first one, which is they're investigating that noise and what they thought they saw. Then the second one is, you know, actually realising that there is a person there, an enemy, and then it'll come up with like an exclamation mark and they'll run over to you and they'll alert their friends. So it's pretty cool. It's not just that they instantly see you. Like if you run towards them, they'll know you're there. But if you sneak up behind them and they hear something like a branch snap or something like that, for example, they'll be like, "What was that?" And they'll turn around. But if you get to cover quick enough, they'll not notice you. It won't be like they hear a branch snap and they go, "Ah, that's an enemy sneaking up behind me," because it could just be one of their friends walking nearby. So makes sense. And then we encounter our first friendlies.
Get over here before you get yourself killed.
Thanks.
Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators.
No.
That rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad.
How
I'd
dare
slap him
they.
with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about.
I like how it's literally the worst thing is like, how dare they land without like using an official landing pad. That's like the worst thing ever. So you can say, let's just land the violation and let it go, and then she obviously like test you, because in Halcyon it's sort of like law to follow these rules and everything that the board give. They're sort of like dictators. You have to do exactly what they're saying. It's kind of ridiculous. And you've got the history of what you've said in the conversations. So just tell her about her teammate who I found. You can say I helped him with the pain, but the thing is that since they're not supposed to accept help from outsiders and don Spacer's Choice stuff, then she'll say that you shouldn't have done that. So just try and help him out and just omit that detail.
Of course I am. I'm a superior officer. Stands to reason, don't it? Just you watch.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
cross these marauders off with a swift, cost-efficient
Just because you're
jury
smarter
that's made
doesn't mean you're not
Spacer's Choice the most
stupid.
trusted brand in personal defense. I just, you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs, son.
You're still in the middle of the open, and it's like they don't want to, so you can just do it yourself. But you should always like just go for speech checks whenever they appear. Like even if you have to lie to someone and then you be honest with them later, because you can just get the XP. So you can say, do all of the guards back now from a challenge, and you can just say that, oh, they'll know who the owner of the ship is. And then you're just gonna give them a 0 on the customer satisfaction survey, and obviously they don't want that. But again, I'll go with the persuade. I'm trying to be nice, not
Well,
be rude to
sometimes.
them.
Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation, you know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Ah, that's great. Anyway, I would definitely rush in as quick as possible if I were you, honestly. Get as many kills as possible, because if they kill him, you're not going to get any XP, and obviously you want that XP. The more XP you get, the quicker you'll level up. And honestly, it probably just feels better to not know editing yourself, honestly. It's just, you pass a speed check to get them to help, and then you do it all yourself anyway, which is the whole reason you're asking for the help, because you don't want to have to do it yourself. But yeah, loot literally everything, because you can just sell it on later. I'll do most of the trading off screen, because it's sort of pointless, but I'll just tell you what I did. And then we can board the ship, even though we've just turned up, and how do we know it's not even locked? Hawthorne ship.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder.
I like this, it's like, welcome aboard the Apex Transport Triangulum Colony, the Reliable, but then he's just put UN in red paint there and said it's the Unreliable. I like it's actually identified as the Unreliable now, because he put that
Smile
there.
for my surveillance device, Marauder.
So,
I am tracking your every move.
yeah, shut up. So, I found that funny, but it's also kind of stupid, because why? The ship needs to work fine, I guess. There must be something wrong with it.
Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime.
Yeah,
Hello,
whatever.
Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel.
Nice
Please be
name.
informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors.
How the hell are you gonna
Please
do that?
return any misappropriated equipment and
I didn't
exit
take
this
anything.
vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction.
Now you can say I'm not gonna misappropriate anything, which is honestly true, because I haven't, and if you're not planning to, she'll just say that you lied, whether you did or not. And you can just question, like, what are you gonna do, self-destruct?
Procedure airlocks initiated. Disengaging airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we're on the ground. Jettisoning the airlocks isn't going to do anything.
You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment.
You should be.
This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne.
Well, that's going to be a problem because he's a red smear under my escape pod. Just kidding, I'm just going to say he's dead. So I'm sorry.
I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty.
No problem.
I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne.
That's great.
If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
Yeah. I am Captain Alex Hawthorne of the Unreliable.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive
Great.
suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing.
So he's supposed to come here to, like, meet me and help us out, but his ship doesn't even work. Great. So that's called the Unreliable. And in Engineering of 5, you can just say the obvious, which is you'll doubt you'll find it in a garage, which I don't think you need Engineering of 5 to point out.
Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty.
Nice.
High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new captain's identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time.
I won't.
This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand?
Yep, I do.
Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best
No
of
problem.
luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Trust me, I don't plan on dying, and we get our first level up. So of course we, yep, I know. So we get 10 points, which you may think is not many, but obviously with this, you add it to an entire category, so it boosts all 3, which basically means that you're given 3 points for the price of 1. Obviously later down the line you'll only have 10, and you'll have to add them individually, so that'll take longer, but it's sort of a boost for the time being. So like I said, you really want to get this up to 20, so what we'll do is put it up all the way to 19, because that may seem irrational, but for now we should be fine with what we've got, and I really need to get that up to 20 as soon as possible. And we get a perk with this being our first level. It's like, you know, with Fallout New Vegas, every 2 levels you get like a perk. And you've got tier 1 for now, then you can get tier 2 when you've chosen 5 perks. You'll be level 10 by then. And then obviously once you've taken 10 perks, you can get to tier 3. And obviously the higher you go up, the better they are, but obviously the higher level you'll be. So you've got all sorts. You've got critical hits for like, your companions, all sorts of stuff. So the base armor is good, as well as health, armor and durability loss, and you've got carrying capacity, as well as many other things like XP from companion kills. I'm going to take that one now, because the thing is, your companions are actually very good at their job. It's not like some games where they basically act as a meat shield, just to block like incoming attacks and stuff for you.
Everything on the Unreliable belongs to you now, Captain. Help yourself. No, really.
That's what I'm doing. Anyway, so since, you know, they're actually good at their job, they will get more kills. Like, they will actually kill quite a number of people. So, you know, that's why you should take that one. Because if they kill loads of enemies, but you're only getting a little bit of XP for each kill they get, then you'll level up slower. If you quickly boost it, like, early as possible, like taking that perk, then of course you'll in turn get XP faster, which means you'll level up quicker, so it in turn works. Here we've got this, the respecification machine. It basically just gives you all of your points and everything back. It's like using like the auto dock in Big Mountain and Fallout New Vegas, that kind of thing, where you just reset yourself basically to level 1, get all your skill points back and all of your perks back, so you can redistribute them as you see fit, which is obviously if you're a really high level and you decide, oh, I want to go in a certain direction that gives me more melee damage or something like that, or you really want to boost a certain, like, I need to get perception up to 100, it's only at 90. If you do that, then you can boost it in such a way that it gets to 100 and take the appropriate perks, that kind of thing. So, you know, it's obviously useful, but as long as you pick the right things first time, I don't think you should need to.
But he always had me.
Yeah, okay. Now we have to exit the ship. Honestly, I've got to say the way we walked into that. Oh, hey guys.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? You sure walked in it like it
Depends.
was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
I don't get paid. You can attack them and just kill them, but it seems a little unnecessary and kind of will annoy everyone else. Although we did walk into that ship where we owned it, so I get that. Lie with 5, you can just say you're a safety inspector, so you get a little XP and you don't get fined.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater.
At least you're
Edgewater's
honest.
not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery.
I don't think I know that.
Excuse me. I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Crime scene, honestly. Just a bloody ship, leave it alone, Jesus. I guess it's got like fins though on this thing, I guess it's supposed to be for direction and that, but instability, but whatever. Primal behemoths. Now, one thing I've got to say is you can definitely pick a fight with the wrong enemies. Like, oh, I'm level 2. These are right next to the beginning shit. They should be easy, right? Well, not quite. But the thing with the primals is they dig through the earth like that. They come up behind you, and do not let them hit you. Whatever you do, they will do all the damage. Hey, look. And go for the eyes, blind him. And I'm dead. See, like I said, just because they're there early on, they can still be a lot more powerful. Well, anyway, since we did that, I'm going to end the video here. Obviously, we have to go back to the nearest save point, which again is probably a negative thing I'd say about this game, because it goes to like the latest save point, but the game saves weirdly, so it's kind of annoying. But I'll just redo everything I did, apart from the killing the primals, of course. And I'll see you in the next episode. We met a great guy, Phineas Wells, and we have our own ship now. Wow, we got promoted fast. Shut up, Ada. So next episode we'll head over to the close town and maybe kill some people. So who doesn't like doing that, right? So I'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.